Hey everybody, Scott Welly, #1 best-selling author and creator of Outperform the Norm. And I want to personally welcome you here. Thanks so much for opting into the Outperformers video series. This is obviously the first video, and I have no idea why you decided to be here. I'm assuming it probably has something to do with you wanting to achieve higher levels of performance personally or professionally, and maybe to just squeeze every last drop out of your personal potential and to know that you're doing it right and know that you're playing at the highest level on the biggest stage under the brightest lights as you possibly can. And you probably know by now that my background is in sports psychology, and a lot of Outperform the Norm comes from the work I've done with high level and elite level athletes. So you're certainly going to hear a few stories over the course of these few videos, but more than anything in this first one, I just want us to get on the same page as far as exactly what we're going to accomplish over this series of the next few videos. And the first basic concept that I just want to run by you and I want you to wrap your head around is what I call basically the PTARL progression. And you've probably heard this before, but basically I'll start at the end of it, where most people, they'll maybe opt in or they'll purchase some type of professional development or personal development program, and they'll start out by mapping out their ideal lifestyle. And they'll kind of think about, I want to be able to take this many vacations and travel and see the world and maybe have this much money stowed away in the bank. And that's all part of your lifestyle, and that's the end part of it. But then to trace it back from there, you have to go back to, well, if you're going to create that lifestyle, you have to be able to get certain results that are going to lead to that. And before the results come the actions. And exactly what you're doing on a day-to-day and on a month-to-month and a week-to-week basis. And before the actions even start, you've got your thoughts and you've got exactly what's going on up here. So you're going to hear me say it a number of times. You condition your psychology like you condition your physiology. And then before all that even starts, you've got your programming. And that's where you've got the PTARL, where you've got programming leads to thoughts, which leads to actions, which leads to results, which leads to lifestyle. Now, we're certainly going to go more in depth in this in the next few videos, but I want you to wrap your head around just simply that basic concept right off the bat. Now, obviously, you can't change your programming up to this point. You can't change where you came from, what you've done, but that can either work against you or you can let that work for you, because what I will tell you is there are 6 billion people on this planet, and nobody has your exact unique experiences, your exact DNA. No one else can do what you do and knows what you know exactly the way that you know it and the way that you do it. So I just want you to believe that, and I want you to know that right off the bat, that use it and use your uniqueness and whatever your experiences have been. Use that for the greater good and use that as a positive, whatever programming or whatever may have happened in the past. And then the other thing on that, and the basic thing to wrap your head around, is I'm all about taking action. I'm all about getting stuff done. And ultimately, if you just sit here thinking about things and you never take any definitive actions, nothing's ever going to get done. But the fact of the matter, and this is where I have to be brutally honest, if there are some specific results that you're achieving in your life and you haven't achieved them up to this point, something in your thought patterns or your cognitive capacity or your cognitive conditioning is holding you back. And ultimately, that's what we're going to be talking about over the series of the next few videos. I'm going to give you some tools and some strategies that are going to allow you to kind of rewire and reprogram your mind to a point, and to just be able to create some better thought patterns that'll ultimately lead to some better actions, that'll lead to better results, that'll lead to ultimately whatever lifestyle you want. So more than anything, from this point going forward and in the future videos and whatever you decide to do with Outperform the Norm, I simply want you to wipe the slate clean. Okay, start fresh, blank canvas, we're going to paint a new picture. So from now on, every single day when you wake up, it's a fresh, blank slate, and we're going to go from there. And then just really understand that we're going to paint that picture, we're going to condition the psychology, and we're going to ultimately get you wherever it is you want to go and whatever it means to you to be playing at the highest level under the brightest lights on the biggest stage. So the only other thing that I want to say in this first video before I hang up, and then you can wait on the next one, is I want you to appreciate the aspect of gratitude. Okay, now you're probably wondering, gratitude, where the heck are you going with this, Scott? Sports psychology studies are coming out these days that show that the highest performers on the planet almost always have the highest amounts of gratitude. And what gratitude basically is it's an appreciation, and it's a wanting to contribute with the gifts that you've been given to kind of the greater good of humanity. And instead of kind of having a lack mindset where you're thinking about the things that you don't have, whether it's financially or again that lifestyle or a job or anything else, instead of thinking about what you lack, I want you to think about what you have. And we all have great things, we all have great gifts in our life that we can be grateful for, and we can have a tremendous amount of gratitude. And I really want you to think about that. And I want that to be the thing that you think about from minute one when you wake up every single day. And if you don't think it matters, it does. If you don't think it matters, you're not getting what I'm saying with this. And I hope that over time you will, but I'm telling you, if you can start out every single day having gratitude and appreciation for the gifts you've been given and want to contribute with those as much as possible, that will have a huge impact on some of the psychological conditioning and things that I talked about before. Because again, whether you call it fear of success or fear of failure or anything else, if there's some barrier holding you back, coming out and saying, you know what, I'm going to get it while the getting's good, and I'm going to contribute with as much effort and as much force and abundance as I possibly can, you're going to change the game if you can simply start there. So ultimately, those are the things that I just want you to wrap your head around in this first video, but I cannot wait to see you on the future videos. Again, thanks so much for being here. And as always, this is Scott Welly wishing you the best of health, happiness, and high performance.